Hi, I'm Non from My Authentic Style, and this channel is dedicated to helping you find your authentic style. And now let's discuss Kibbe Theatrical Romantic clothes. Before we begin, it's important to note that David Kibbe has repeatedly said that clothing doesn't belong to a specific type, and that rather it's how you put a piece into an entire outfit that makes it either appropriate or inappropriate for that type. Now, for the sample wardrobe, let's start off with lingerie. Here, I have a few pieces that I think would be amazing for the theatrical romantic. Assuming that this is a person who not only embodies the typical theatrical romantic body type, but also has a romantic essence. The first look is a all red three-piece, very sexy kind of ensemble. And again, leaning into that romantic essence, this is that overly, overtly sexy woman. And we've seen that not everybody who falls into this type is going to embody that essence, but some will. So this will be something that is just incredibly beautiful and sexy and sits on their body in such a way that is wonderful and very likely does exactly what lingerie was designed to do. Likewise, that green piece I think gives such great shaping, but that fabric is soft and it has that sort of structure to it while still being soft. So I feel that very great mix of a slight yang, but also that yin overall feel. In general, I think lingerie is very yin feeling, but then giving it that structure like that fabric has is a nod to that yin aspect of this type. And that structure, it's just very beautiful, very sexy, while still also being respectful to that composition. To the right of that, the same thing. That lace is a very soft and delicate fabric, beautiful shaping, but also very subdued in the color, but also in the way that it is structured. I think this would be incredible on any theatrical romantic woman. To the right of that is a lingerie set that feels very romantic feeling. So it's more of that softer, like that red piece. For those who lean more towards that, it's delicate, it's soft. There's that cinching of the waist. There's that delicate trim of lace at the neckline. Everything is just very soft and feminine and looks absolutely amazing. For swimwear, that first piece has a beautiful pattern, but I love most of all that slight asymmetry, which nod to that yang, but it's scalloped and has that circular sort of trim, which is very feminine and delicate and just beautiful. And I think this would look amazing on a theatrical romantic type. In the middle, you have that one piece, but that overlap in the neckline creates that sharp V. So there's a little bit of angularity, but at the same time, still very feminine with that cinched waist and that gold belt that adds that touch of glamour and femininity, and it's just beautiful. And then to the right of that, that one piece, but again, that breastplate kind of circular detailing, touch of glamour elevates the entire piece, and I think that would look great for this type. For shorts, the theme here is a high waist because cinching the waist and highlighting the waist is the key component of this type. So those white shorts are great for that. They have that folded fabric that kind of flows out a bit. So there's that, it creates that bit of volume at the bottom of the shorts, which further accentuates an hourglass figure, which would be amazing for this type. Those purple shorts have that soft plush fabric to the top, and but they're high waisted, so great shaping and very feminine and delicate. Underneath them is that brown leather plush fabric, so it's soft and structured. Again, great for this type, and that detailing of the belt just amazing. To the right of that, those hot pink leather shorts again, high waisted, giving it that space to add a belt and cinch in that waist a little bit more structured for those who aren't as delicate as the others. So there's a bit of play here. And then up top, that fabric with a lot of rhinestones, giving it again that sense of high glamour and very feminine and hyper glamorous, which works for this type, depending again on where your essences fall. But these are a great set of options for a theatrical romantic casual tops. So for anybody in the romantic family, casual is slightly more glamorous than it would be for most. And these tops reflect that. Going from left to right, you have those thin stripes of that top. I love that because they show the collarbone, they show the chest area, and there's that tie in that chest area, just a little bit of feminine detailing. It's cropped, which means whatever you'd be wearing would probably be high waisted. So there's that cinching of the waist. Great detail, amazing for this type. To the right of that, that light dark green top has that fabric that clings to the body, gives great shaping. It's ultra light, ultra delicate, ultra feminine. Beautiful for this type with those spaghetti straps. I love that shaping and that it just feels very feminine. To the right of that, a very classic kind of casual vest, but it is more polished than usual, which this type requires. And I think that works for them. And to the right of that, there's that open chest cropped shirt with that perforated bellowed sleeve, which gives beautiful rounded shaping, feels feminine, feels like it has extra detail, which adds a touch of glamour to an otherwise casual top. And I think that's wonderful for this type. Formal tops. Soft, silky, and draped styles with draped or ornate detail and lavish, intricate trim. So here we're focusing on the feminine yet again, and this is great for this type. That first look has that open shoulder styling, which showing skin is just a very feminine thing. Just like a touch of skin, a little bit extra is wonderful for this type. And at the same time, it has that beautiful draping because of that cinched waist, and that peplum also helps to further accentuate and emphasize that waist detailing. So it's great. To the right of it, there's that soft fabric, that asymmetry of how it's cut, that soft draping of the neckline, the spaghetti straps. It's just very delicate and feminine, beautiful for this type. To the right of that, the fabric is a lot more structured, so this is leaning more towards that slight yang, but again, still delicate and feminine. That opening in the chest, the delicate trim of the neckline. The shoulders are emphasized, but they are softly rounded, and the detailing at the wrists is soft and gathered, so there's that rounded shaping. And the shirt itself is cropped, so again, it would invite a high waisted sort of bottom to further emphasize that shaping. Just a wonderful top for this type. To the right of that, soft fabric with a long draped detailing where that bow just falls to the side. It creates that moment for fabric to fall behind them as they move and create that very soft, sensual, feminine kind of fabric movement which would elevate their style and their outfit. Avoid stiffly tailored styles with sharp detail, unconstructed, shapeless styles. Sweaters should be plush, fluffy knits with soft necklines, ornate trim, and lavish patterns. Short, shaped styles that are fitted at the waist and wrists. So moving from left to right, I love the detailing of that first one, that sort of strap detail. The fabric itself feels very light, and that lightness creates that sense of femininity. It clings to the body, it shapes her well, it feels a little bit shiny, so that detailing is there. Although it's a subdued piece, it still has that little bit of elevation and glamour to it. To the right of that, that draping around the shoulder, again, showing that skin, just very feminine. It drapes around her waist, giving that beautiful shaping. Wonderful for this type. To the right of that, there's also, I love that brooch on that blue sweater. I think it adds that glamour again, and the way that you can imagine this sitting on a body, it drapes around or it cinches in at the waist, so giving that beautiful shape. And to the right of that, that ruching of that fabric, it falls down in the shoulder, so that skin is exposed again, very glamorous, very feminine. And then it's long in a way that gives that beautiful shaping. So it's like a miniature dress. So it gives that beautiful shape to the body and just feels very feminine. Avoid heavy, bulky knits, skinny ribbed knits, plain styles such as cardigans, crew necked Shetlands, etc., and avoid shapeless, baggy styles. Pants should always be soft and draped, showcasing your curvy figure. Gathers draping or shirring at the waist and a narrow or tapered ankle. Pants should be short, ending at the ankle. So moving from left to right with these, I like this short pair of pants because it has that beautiful shaping. It's like a second skin. It's high waisted, so draped to the body, it gives that beautiful shaping. And then at the end, it has those bows, that very feminine touch, which most women in this type, depending on their essence, would be able to carry off. And that short length, again, because of that small stature, just beautiful on them and wonderful detailing. To the left of that, those hot pink pants have that high waisted feel again, those gathers. So the fabric is light, it would have that movement, and that tie at the waist not only emphasizes the waist but also adds detailing to that waist, making it more delicate, which is great for this type. Likewise, those purple pants, high waisted, and these ones are skinny and they feel a little bit shorter, so they probably end at the ankle. Great tapering, great shaping, and then that draped detail to the side, just that softness of fabric creates a softness in the overall look. I love that little bit of fabric that hangs off the side. As a person moves, that would move as well. So there's a delicacy, a femininity to it all around. And those last pants, again, high waisted, soft fabric, movement, just great for this type. Avoid straight tailored styles, sharp details, pleats, cuffs, pockets, and baggy, unconstructed styles. And then jeans for this type, high waisted, tapered at the ankle. Those first two pairs at high waist is a great place to do that cinching of the waist, which is great for this type because you want the silhouette to be snatched, and that skinny fit of the first and the middle pants gives that great shaping, just following along the contours of the body. Beautiful for this type. And the pants to the right have more of that bootleg feel, but again, they're high waisted, so they follow the shape beautifully. And that bootleg isn't too wide, it's just a gentle, delicate opening, which I think looks wonderful for this type if it's not too long because they have that short vertical line. It's beautiful to give them amazing shaping and just a slight widening at that leg opening, but without being overwhelming. Jackets should be short and nipped at the waist. Flouncy peplums that flare out or hang down in the back are best. Lapels can be very ornate with scalloped edges, braiding or jeweled trim, or slightly pointed and peaked. Shawl lapels are also effective. Trim should always be ornate. So there's a couple of options here that I think would be great for this type. Starting top left, that black jacket has a little bit of sharpness to it in the lapels, but it has that also wonderful way of having that belt just cinch in the waist to create that beautiful shaping. Right at the bottom of it is that delicate lace fabric, but it's weighted lace fabric, so the detailing sits atop that weighted fabric, and it that juxtaposition is fantastic for this type because it's still very feminine, but there is a structure to it. And that structure is designed in such a way that it has great shaping. So there's a very delicate peplum coming out, a cinching of the waist, a rounded neckline. Amazing for this type. That blue jacket as part of a suit, I think the suit would be great for this type in general. The fabric itself has that ability to drape. It's not overly heavy or sharp. The pants are long, but they end at the waist and they're tapered at the waist. But more importantly, that jacket cinches beautifully. It has a tie at the waist, giving that great hourglass shape. And to the right of that, there's that very dramatic peplum with the contrasted neckline, but that shape of that peplum is really what's giving that shape that is incredible for this type. The fabric itself feels light and at least soft and plush, even if it's not light. So a lot of things right for this type. And then finally, top right is that cropped jacket, but with that very ornate detailing. The edges are scalloped going down the center, so that rounded shaping, as well as at the wrist. There's that shimmer coming from that beading that gives it that touch of elegance and glamour, which is wonderful for this type. Avoid severely tailored jackets, unconstructed boxy jackets, traditional blazer styles, long jackets that hide the waist. Coats. Here you have that similar need for glamour, but just a little bit more weighted and elongated. Starting to the left, that burgundy color is great for this type, but that fur is such a luxurious fabric that I associate with a more romantic type. This will differ on the person's composition, but if they're able, this is such a wonderful coat to add. And it has that waistline tie, which gives a shaping, although this will be an oversized coat, but it's more about that sense of glamour, very high glamour, and just a luxurious feel of that fabric. To the right of that is something that is more in line with the small stature of this type, but it still has that glamorous feel because of that trim, that fur trim at the neckline and at the arm openings. And then at the waist, it has that tie to give that shaping. So this is wonderful for this type. To the right of that is a more subdued yet still elegant jacket. No fur or anything, just a very clean, but the lapels are rounded and there's that tie at the neckline, and the length itself is quite short, so great for the small stature of this type. And then to the right of that is almost a blend of the middle two jackets. Slightly longer, but there's that tie at the waist to give shaping, and then there's that very luxurious fur trimming at the neckline as well as at the arm openings. Skirts should be soft and shapely. Your version of a straight skirt is actually tulip shaped with some gathering at the waist and a narrow taper at the hem. This type of hem should be short, no longer than just below the knee. The other type of skirt that you wear equally well is a softly flowing skirt with an uneven hem. This will be longer, at least mid-calf. Skirts should have intricate details such as draping, shirring, gathers, or bias cut pieces. Trumpets, sarong, and circles are also good shapes. So here you have a couple of options. Starting to the left, that trumpet style skirt, it has that wrapping, but it also has that intricate trim that gives it an opening and a flow. It just becomes a slightly more full skirt, which to me reads as very feminine and just beautiful and wonderful for this type. To the right of that, again, a feminine skirt with that draping, those falling pieces. It also has that detailing in the trim where it has all that movement, and it's just very feminine and delicate. So it's long, but it ties, and there's just that femininity that is tied into that sort of detail. To the right of that is a shorter skirt. I like it because it has that big bow having that sense of femininity, but it doesn't feel too youthful or childish. It does a little bit because the skirt is so short, but I think because it's black and it has that trim, there's a slight maturity to it. So it really depends how the rest of the styling goes. But the fabric itself has that ability to hold its structure. So a little bit more of that yang with the yin, and great for this type. And then to the bottom, we're again lean back into that yin. So that draping, slight asymmetry, and it's long, but it's not too long. So it'll probably fall right beneath the knee down to mid calf. and high-waisted, so giving that great shaping, which is important for this type. You want to avoid severe or straight skirts, traditional tailored styles, wide shapeless styles, long hemlines, except on uneven hems that drape a flow, and sharp pleats. Dresses should always be feminine and shapely. Defined shoulders, waist emphasis, and intricate detail. Soft and draped necklines, tapered wrists, and a tapered hemline if short, flared hemline if long. Lightweight fabrics with sheen or plushness and luscious colors complete the picture. So here there is an overabundance of femininity in the form of plush shapes and that orangey tangerine dress with that petal detail that reads to me as very feminine. It has movement, but it has a little bit of weight to it. And yes, it has that A-line kind of silhouette, but it's not severe. And it has that movement, which is important. So, and the open neckline, I think overall that would be great for this type, depending on who's wearing it. To the right of that, you have a similar style with more of that V neck cut and a more draped and flowy silhouette at the bottom with a lighter fabric. To the right of that, that short white dress with that beaded detail. That detailing is so important for this type. That dress all the way to the left has so many elements that are great for this type. The neckline is sharp, but the lapels themselves are rounded. So there's that softness. The fabric is soft, it has movement. How the skirt falls has that cascading, rounded feel. So there's movement and there's femininity. And the detail at the cuffs is there, but it creates that bellowed sleeve. So it's that blend of giving structure, but still definitely falling within the feminine. And the waist, of course, is cinched. So just beautiful and wonderful for this type. Avoid sharply tailored styles, unconstructed styles, long no-waist styles, and symmetrical subdued styles. Evening wear. Fitted shapes with ornate trim and waist emphasis, cleavage emphasis, draped fabrics, sparkly fabrics, plush fabrics, theatrical ensembles, form-fitting gowns with cleavage emphasis, shirt and draped cocktail dresses, fitted dinner suits with peplum jackets and ornate trim, and bustier dresses. So this will be basically anything that drums up the sexy and feminine. Whatever comes to mind for that would be great for this type. These are just some examples. In that first dress, there's that plush fabric of what I believe is a velvet that Selena has. That sliver of flesh that she shows right beneath her bust line is amazing, and the draping of that fabric is great. It's right against her skin. There's that those big bellowed shoulders creating that rounded shaping, and of course the glamour of those diamonds. She looks wonderful. To the right of that, there's more emphasis on her shape, that bright red color, again evoking that passion. Beautiful shaping, cinched in waist. There's a slit, so again skin as a almost accessory, great for this type. Salma Hayek to the right of that, that shimmer of the fabric creates that high glamour. It's shaping her nicely. It is cinching at the waist because that's where the shiny fabric meets the more dull fabric. But everything is uniform. Everything gels together. The bottom and the top fabric, it's the same color. There's just more sheen up top. And that same sheen carries at the bottom and creates the train of the dress. And she just looks amazing. They all look amazing. And now let's discuss Kibbe Theatrical Romantic accessories. Bags. Small, rounded shapes, delicate shoulder straps, touches of intricate trim, metallic, antique, or beaded bags for evening, ultra slim briefcases, and very soft leather. So these are examples of some delicate feminine pieces. That top one, very beaded, small, intricate. The one to the bottom again has that sheen, that small handle. So even the fact that you have to hold it by the handle evokes that feminine, delicate aspect, which is great for this type. To the right of that, it's a tote bag, but that color, and repeated again up top, that red color. And the top one has the red against the pink. It's small, it has ornate trim, it has that touch of glamour, that sheen, those metals. All very important for this type, and I think these bags would be great options. You want to avoid oversized, unconstructed bags, sharp geometric shapes, symmetrical shapes with frames, and bulky briefcases. Shoes. Lightweight and delicate with tapered toe and heel. Touches of intricate trim. Bare and strappy are good, as are open toes and slingbacks. Flats should be very feminine. Light and bright shades are excellent choices. So here we have just very feminine choices for footwear. Those sandals have that glamorous feel to them because of that gemstone detailing that just feels very elevated and glamorous. Again, you want to be careful not to do anything that tips the scales and starts to feel cheapened, but definitely lean into the glamorous. The red shoe, again, just feels very elevated, feminine, and sensual. There is that strappy heel with the glitzy kind of glamorous detailing because of that diamante detail. Likewise, a simple sandal at the bottom, but it has that heel elevated. I love that boot with that crisscross detail. Sharp heel feels very sexy, and sexy is kind of the cornerstone of the detailing of this type. So even when they're wearing a pair of sneakers to the bottom right, you want them to feel glamorous, so that golden shimmery detail is great for that type. Avoid extremely angular styles, chunky styles, and plain symmetrical shapes. Jewelry. Jewelry is your most important accessory. You simply can't wear too much of it, and you simply can't do without it. It provides elegance, glamour, and sophistication. Shapes are intricate, ornate, rounded, swirling, baroque, and rococo. Sparkly materials are essential: crystals, gems, glass, polished metal, etc. Even for daytime. In the evening, go for broke and trail your jewels behind you. Just remember to keep the combination of delicate and lavish working together. So, as these pieces indicate, the romantic, and in this case, the theatrical romantic, really has the ability to wear a lot of very shiny, sparkly, beautiful, and ornate pieces without it being too much. A bejeweled watch is completely fine for a romantic type. Beneath that, that beautiful gold piece is more understated, but still very shiny, very ornate, feeling very delicate. That necklace is diamond, and I love that it's two layered. So feeling very feminine, very ornate, and very glamorous. Those earrings with the red, love that color, be it potentially garnet or ruby. That is just a stunning showpiece that lends itself really well for this type. And typically, nothing too dangly for the romantic, but I love those earrings because they have that polish and that femininity, and they feel like a modern spin on a classic piece. And that beautiful bracelet with that very delicate motif, it's giving a very luxurious, while dainty and sophisticated feel. And that's just a beautiful ring that I think would look lovely on this type. Avoid geometrics, sharp, severe, or avant garde pieces, chunky pieces, rough, heavy, or ethnic pieces, small, symmetrical pieces, or a no jewelry look. Hats. Rounded shapes, crisp brims, picture frames, small, chic cocktail hats with veils or ornate trim. So Looking at these pieces, you can see that delicacy, that smallness, that ornateness. I love the veil of that blue piece, and also consider that it's very velvety and plush, the fabric of that headpiece, so it already feels very luxurious. Next to it, that fur like trimming, that very soft texture makes it very soft, very delicate, very feminine, and very sophisticated. That's just a very glamorous piece. It's very elegant. Next to it, that hat is so perfectly fitted. It's small. I love the detailing, that intricate detailing of the beading, and then how it flips up to show the face. Just so soft and delicate, lovely. And beneath that, I love the rose detail of that hat. So you take a sun hat, but you make it more feminine. And next to it, that soft brim of that maroon hat. Very soft, very delicate, and the brim is not too large, so it's not overpowering, but it's just soft, some movement. I think all of these are fantastic options. Avoid sharp, man tailored hats, floppy hats, crisp caps, or ethnic hats. Belts. Belts should be worn wherever possible to showcase the waist. Soft, supple belts, moderate to wide, ornate and intricate buckles, bejeweled and beaded styles. So, for the romantic type, belts are an essential cornerstone of their styling because a cinched waist is an essential part of their styling. So, whenever you have a belt, it's that additional piece that A functions to cinch in that waist, but B brings attention to that cinched in waist. So, just very important for them, and the more intricate and beautiful and ornate that the belt is, the more it fits for this type. So just going across, I love that golden detail of that velvet belt, and again the velvet material, soft, plush, luxurious, perfect. For something a lot more subtle like plain brown leather beneath it, again that golden detail is fantastic. That would work if it wasn't gold, or if it was maybe diamante encrusted. That would still be a beautiful look for this type. Next to it, you have that belt with the crystals in gold rings that just sits so beautifully at her waist. It adds that detail to the waist and to the outfit. It is fun, it is sensual, and it just adds a feminine touch. And next to it, that's a very simple, small, dainty belt, that pearl beading, it looks like, but it cinches in nicely and adds that shaping. It's not too much, but it's there. I think in an outfit as small as it is, it would make such a difference. Just adding that additional detail, so important for this type. Generally, this type I think does better with a thicker belt because it just allows for more cinching and more of that visual effect. But in a case where, I don't know, the outfit calls for something a little bit more dainty, then this is a great option. These are all good options. You want to avoid stiff styles, narrow self belts, slim, subdued styles. And with that, we are complete. I would love to know again in the comments if this is your type and if you agree with my assessment. In this video, I did go through the free sample wardrobe for the Theatrical Romantic. And if you would like that, I would very much love to give it to you. It is not just the sample items that I discuss in detail, but also a document that pulls together the Theatrical Romantic body type, the hair, the makeup, and a shopping guide. So I think it's a great document to have if this is your type. All that information in one place. Click the link in the description and follow those prompts. I hope you enjoy and I hope it is helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you like the content that I'm creating, or if you want to discuss anything I touched on in the video, please do so. Leave me a comment. Also, like the video and, of course, subscribe and turn on those notifications. I'll see you on the next one.